Welcome to the Trending XR podcast, where we discuss the latest in augmented reality, virtual reality, and AI with industry leaders who are shaping the future of how we will work, socialize, and go about our daily lives in the third dimension. In the not-so-distant future, we won't even be using phones. We'll be using these. I know, sounds crazy, but we have never been closer to this future concept becoming our current reality. I am so excited to share this new world with you. I hope to teach you, inspire you, and ignite your passion for extended reality. It's time to change dimensions. Are you coming? Welcome back to the Trending XR podcast. Today I have on an awesome guest who is going to talk about their software that is an AR/VR spatial suite that allows builders, architects, designers, and clients to go inside the 3D model of their project. This software is packed with features, and I cannot wait for you guys to see everything that we have in store for you on this podcast. But to get to that, I first have to welcome on the CEO and founder, Michael Shaw.
Hey, Cody. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it, man. This is like, all right, so this is going to be a really cool episode. We got on Michael with Enviz, and this is a really, really cool product that they have built where you can visualize an architectural project in VR or on your phone or a tablet, which is pretty cool. So it's super diverse. So basically you can use it on whatever device you have, anywhere that you're at. So you don't have to go to the place to do it. You can do it right from your home, or you can go meet your clients and use it with them. So I'll let Michael kind of like tell us the story behind Enviz and how he got it started. So if you want to start us off with that, that'd be a good place to kick it off.
Awesome. No, thanks, Cody, and thanks for the intro. Yeah, it sounds like you've definitely understand what we're doing, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, the original business started from the core understanding that we really saw the problem that people really understand what a future project is going to be, and people really struggle to understand how to read floor plans. So that's like a fairly universal problem through the whole property sector. And I've come from the development background, so I've done a whole bunch of property developments myself. So I've also tried to sell property off the plan and seen and experienced this problem firsthand. So what we realized with new spatial computing, virtual reality headsets, augmented reality, we knew that we could solve this problem and allow people to be able to walk and experience the space before it's built. And so that's what we've done. So we've built a platform that allows any 3D designer, so that's your architects, your CGI studios, any designer around the world to be able to simply and easily create an Enviz experience. And once you create an Enviz experience, it allows their customers or any person that's either building, buying, or renovating a home to be able to walk around that space before it's built and actually experience it. And we really believe that experience-based, either design or selling is the way of the future. So that's how our product's been used right now. It's been used on some really high-end penthouse and high-end luxury homes to be sold off plan. But then it's also being used by a lot of production home builders and custom home builders around the world to help their clients better understand what they're about to buy and build. And then just for a lot of people that are hobbyists and understanding like what a renovation is going to look like or what their new design is going to look like, it's been used in that more fun way as well. So yeah,
It's so cool, man. I agree. I think like the future of so many different products are going to be in spatial. There's just so much more of a rich experience you can have sitting down with the client and designing, or just as the client experiencing this thing that you're going to build. I think it's amazing what you guys have built, and I think so many more companies are going to start adopting the spatial world for their sales process, or just for their clients' experience with their software product or whatever it may be. So I'm curious. So you started in construction, and was there some sort of background in tech that like got you kind of like into the tech side, or did you like have to hit the ground running and learn everything from scratch?
Yeah, I didn't train or go to uni for any sort of tech background. I went and did construction project management, then did a whole bunch of large projects working for a really top tier construction company. Then went from there to did a whole bunch of my own property developments. And so that's, as I mentioned before, that's where I experienced the problem firsthand, where when you're doing a property development, it's a lot of the times to make a product, projects stack up, you need to pre-sell a lot of the project to get financing and get the project to move. And so you're selling off the plan. So you're selling just with floor plans and a few renders. And that's where I first realized the problem. But to answer your question, no, I don't have any technical background. I had that experience. I owned a few companies, got myself in a situation where I was ready to start this tech company 5 years ago. I've always been very into tech though. So like I've always been across it and across the space. But then I just started the learnings from there, employed some really, really smart people to expedite that learning. And I've got an amazing team around me, a great co-founder and great technical leads. So that, just really expedites your learning, but it's a lot of trial and error and it's a new space anyway. So no one actually knows the right path here. So we're kind of forging that path anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. What was maybe, I think this could be a good question to start off with, is like maybe the most technically challenging part for you, and like how long you guys have been working on Enviz, to get to this point where you're at now.
Yeah. So, there is so many technical challenges. Like what we're doing is at a very high level, like these 3D models that we're putting onto a Viz, they exist globally. Like they're already commonly used by architects and CGI studios around the world. But right now they're stuck on these high-end computers. So your gaming computers, and they need that level of computing power to be able to run and operate these models and visually see what they look like. And so one of our biggest technical challenges is getting these models that are like gigs, like 1-2 gigabytes worth of memory, getting them down and optimizing them so that they still look lifelike, still look real, but they're only at like 150 megabytes, and then they can work on your phone, a tablet, a VR headset. So like that is a huge technical challenge.
It's a lot of compression.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not only even compression, it's also about like still bringing in the lifelike feel and look. So you're actually having to really calculating all the light,
Yeah.
calculating all the light around the room. So rendering and baking the light into the scene so it looks real, and the shadows and everything. So that's probably one of the biggest technical challenges, which we're very proud that we've now got a fully automated system where an architect can simply drag and drop their file, and then within a few hours it processes on our cloud and then it appears on our platform. And that was all done automatically. It wasn't always automatically. We used to do it manually, but now it's
Wow.
automatic. So that probably have one
Is
challenges. Yeah.
That is so cool that you've built in the ability to drag and drop and have it process in the back end. That's pretty impressive, especially because it's pretty complex. So anyone who 3D models or understands it to the simple degree, it's like, especially a construction model, there's so many moving pieces and parts inside of a scene for, a house. To be able to take all of that and cook it in the back and make it come out as 150 megabytes, while keeping like really rich data, like colors and sharp edges and everything. And I've seen, and you guys will see here in a second, how nice these models look. So like knowing that now is like, it's extra impressive that that's what's going on. I'm super yeah, I'm super curious how all that works in the back end, but I won't go too deep into technical details on that. Maybe we'll do that in a future chat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I'm happy for you to ask questions, but that's fine. Yeah.
yeah, I guess I don't. Is there anything about that process, if you want to like brief on it, like real quick, that you think would be pretty cool to like tell listeners and on how you guys like you solve that kind of crunch?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely happy to talk at a high level. Obviously, there's some things that I won't share, but yeah, at a really high level for our really top quality, lifelike looking experiences, these kind of models are already used currently to produce these high end renders, which I'm sure you're accustomed to. Whenever you see a property that's sold off the plan, there is these really nice renders of the kitchen, the living room, to show you what the space is going to look like. And it looks photoreal, but it's not. It's actually just a 3D model that they've set up a camera in that scene and then
And then
you rendering, calculated all the lights and reflections and materials and everything. So what we're doing is that we're not only doing that on a single image, we're doing that for the whole scene. So we have to take the whole scene and we have to make sure that we optimize down the mesh of the model down to something that is really, really lightweight. So it's removing all the mesh and different things that it's not needed, but you still can visually see. So there's a whole bunch of calculations that go there. We use spatial partitioning to better understand the room and the space, so we know what's a living room, what's a kitchen, what's a bedroom, and what we can see and what we can't see. So you remove all the geometry that is not needed on that model. And then once we've got that, then we then do that rendering of the space. So we it's called baked lighting. So instead of it being real time lighting, we have to make a compromise there. What we have the lighting that is banked and from what the artist has decided that they want the scene to look like. And so we then do all those calculations to be able to understand what that space looks like. And bake that real looking lighting onto that optimized model. And then from there, then we serve it to all our platforms. So it goes to mobile, goes to web, goes to VR headset. And then that's how you get an Enviz experience.
That's tricky too, because so since you're baking everything and these aren't fully enclosed environments, usually you got a lot of windows and such. You got patios and things that you can walk out on and see. So like in the HDRIs, which is like, the surrounding globe right outside of this experience, like you got to kind of line up the sun, with the way that I guess the light's coming through this building model, so that you don't have like a sun over there, but the light's coming in this way from something. It's technically challenging creatively to sell like this like cohesive idea. But yeah, that
What you described there is what the really good, because we don't produce any of these models that you'll see or you see on our platform. They're all done by our partners. So we're a platform that partners with the CGI studios and the artists around the world. But yes, what you just described there is what some of the really good CGI studios do, is they'll make sure that their surrounding sphere is aligned to the lighting that they've produced in the scene, so that when you're seeing the sun in the distance there, it still has the shadows and everything is aligned, so it doesn't break that third wall kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe one day in the future when compute is really really capable on hardware, we can have like Unreal Engine 12 or whatever it is at the time running, like live light, like where you could pick, or what would be really cool is that you could pick any time of the day to view the home or the space, so you could see like how it interacts with the light. And it's like like geographically placed and orientated towards its actual where it's going to be built light patterns. So then you can like for designers on like high end stuff, like they do a lot of design that's like interacts with the light and the space that it's actually going to be in, the colors and stuff they choose. So in the future, that would be like a really cool feature if it's possible.
100%. Yeah, no, definitely. Totally agree. Yeah, light, understanding of light in a space is super important to any designer and then any person looking at that space. And what you just described, it already exists, that technology, but as you said, right now it needs the gaming computer and Unreal Engine to work. So it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, not too far. I mean, man, we've seen some crazy leaps and bounds here in AR VR space, particularly on the compute side with like Gaussian splats and Radiance Field Tech. I don't know if you're super familiar with that or not, but
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting stuff.
definitely. No, definitely across that space. We are. It's on our roadmap to bring in a Gaussian splat version option on our platform. Right now we haven't prioritized it, but it definitely will come in the future for sure.
Yeah, probably it's good that that's on your radar. There's just so much. I've talked to like 3 guys that are like specialists in the space, and they're just like every week there's like a new paper on it. It's like it's constantly getting better, and there's this new version that made the other one just obsolete, and it's just happening so fast. It's like hard to just like pick one and stick with it quite yet. So, but soon, yeah, it's cool that you guys are working on that.
Yeah, no, yeah, no,
Right.
I've listened to some of your previous guests, Jonathan, Stefan,
Oh,
too. Um,
yeah, Stevens.
yeah, Steven, sorry, and all his videos about nerfs and Gaussian splats and now radiance fields and stuff is very interesting. So, like I said, it's coming.
Yeah, if you want some more, we'll do another name drop here. If you want some more just awesome content on that, go to radiancefield.com, radiancefields.com, I think is. That's Michael Rubloff. I could shoot that over to you. I could tag it in the description too. So I wanted to ask you a question on something that we spoke about previously, where you guys started off as location-based spatial app and then decided to shift into something that your clients could use anywhere 1,000 miles away at an office or with their clients. Would you like to kind of like brief us on the process of why you guys switched over to that and like and the benefits of that you've seen.
Yeah, yeah, cool. No, that's yeah, definitely can share on that. Um, so the original, I was already looking into VR as a solution to the problem that I mentioned before, but as I was doing that, I discovered an Australian company, or sorry, a new kind of type of business that was starting up. That this is again 4, 5, 6 years ago now, um, where it's 2D projection, where they have a big warehouse and they project a floor plan onto the ground in 1-to-1 scale, and then you can walk around that space. This business model has now really started to get momentum, and we're actually now working with a lot of these companies all around the US and around the world, to be honest. So, but anyway, that's where I originally saw these people doing 1-to-1 scale walkthroughs on floor plans, and I was like, okay, well, if I see that business model is working with 2D projections, how can we do that better with virtual reality? And so that started the journey of the original business idea. And so I also rented a warehouse out near where all the production home builders are, out in Western Sydney. And the company back then was called Envision VR. And we created a space where then we built some tech inside the facility where it was mobile VR, but it was 1-to-1 scale at arena size, so full. You could fit a whole home into this a warehouse kind of space, and it was multi VR. So we had multiple VR people synced in the space, so you could walk around and be inside the future home and walking around 1-to-1 scale. At that point, we were a studio, so we did all the design, we did all the modeling, we did all the tech, and we had these builders come around. Um, and so that was where we first initially got some feedback from the market that there was at least people were interested in this, and it was something that was a potential business that was going to work, but we weren't getting the traction that we really needed. But at that point, we had now figured out how to build and design and develop our own software. And that's when the pivot went to the current business model where we've like, okay, we've got this software that's really valuable and useful. And we see that there is a need, and this is only going to grow as technology gets better and awareness it's more aware. But how can we just provide this software to any 3D designer, any builder, any architect, any developer around the world to use it in their own space? And so that's when we pivoted to being the platform that wants to partner with these designers and share our software globally in that way. So I think that's the origin story of Enviz.
Yeah, that's like that was such a powerful shift because what you did was you de-isolated yourself from like the local market or having to like fly to like clients, and now you're able to service anyone anywhere in the world at any time, which is like your scalability is like so much bigger at, with that model.
Well, exactly. And the really cool thing about the going full circle is that now we're actually partnering with pretty much we're in talks or have already officially partnered with a lot of these 2D projection companies all around the world. So Life Size Plans we're working with. They've got locations all around the world. Walk Your Plans and Walkthrough Plans we're in discussions with. So these are all like companies that we're actually just about to fly over to America on the 1st of May to go meet with a lot of these companies. So it'll be good.
Oh, cool. Where all you guys going?
All over. So going to land in Miami, do the F1, which will be fun, and then go from. There's a whole bunch of clients and VCs and different people that we're meeting in Miami. Then we're going probably New York, Nashville, Ohio, Texas, Phoenix, and then probably finishing in LA.
Very cool. Those are all really fun. I love Nashville and I live in Ohio. So where in Ohio are you guys going? To maybe Columbus?
No, I think it's Cleveland. I think is currently.
Is it? No way. That's where I live. That's seriously of all places you're going to. Yeah. So for the listeners, by the way, Michael is from Australia. This is where they're based. So they're doing an America tour, and you guys are you meeting? Do you say you're meeting with existing clients, or are you going out and doing like demos and stuff for new clients?
It's a combination of both. Yeah. So existing clients in most those cities that we've already got, but then obviously, yeah, then we've lined up a whole bunch of new client meetings to hopefully expand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome. Yeah, you're kind of covering a lot of states there too. That's a good little trip you guys are doing. And that flight is not short, so it's you make it worth your time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
How long is it?
I think it's something close to 20 hours. Yeah, all, which is decent. Yeah.
That's wild. I thought a 13-hour flight was a lot. 20 is nuts. Um, well, that's cool, man. I look. Hopefully, we can link up when you come to Cleveland.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've only got currently one meeting booked in Cleveland, so let's catch up for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good. Touching back on when you guys were doing the walking through your experience with multiple people, it's still a feature that's in your new software as well, which I think is like a really cool ability for people to be able to do. Is that possible remotely from, say, clients that are in another country with people that are doing the project?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's one of our core features that we have, and actually we've got a US patent on it as well. But yeah, we call that guided viewing. So we realized that because our software is now mobile and anyone can use it around the world and share it around the world, and a lot of our clients are either trying to sell an apartment or a home or communicating interstate or internationally to their buyers or clients. And so we wanted to allow the person to be able to meet inside the space. Um, but we also wanted the client to be able to, the agent, the architect, the person that's in control of the experience to stay in control. And so we've created an experience called guided viewing where that person can then invite people in and then show them around a space by either moving them around or letting them freely walk. And then they can actually see what they're seeing. So you can actually see into their camera feed of what they're actually looking at. So you can then, if they're looking in the kitchen, you can talk through this is the bench top and this is the view and doing all that kind of selling that is needed or communicating that is needed. So that's one way of we allow people to connect inside the space called guided view. And then the other one is more simple. It's called public viewing, and that just allows anyone to come in at the space at the same time and just freely walk you around together, which is fairly common, and people are aware of that in some other kind of platforms that you probably tried before. But that still allows anyone to then move around.
So cool.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say, the difference between the original business model is, which isn't in the current tech, is the original business model is you were able to actually be in the same location and your space was synced. So we sync the real world with the virtual world and you would be moving together and it would match up. But because now these people are in different spaces completely, then that functionality is not needed.
I got you. Yeah, that's cool. Like that brings up like an idea of how maybe the future of like open houses are going to be for realtors. So this is such an amazing tool for people who are buying homes to just like, do I want to like drive like 8 hours today around the whole town to go look at all these houses? As one for the realtors, two for the people viewing, or I could stay at home with my significant other or myself and go through all of these different options that are out there and walk through them and see it in spatial. So you're seeing it at scale. You're seeing the way it actually looks because it was scanned by like, I don't know, Matterport or a LiDAR scanner if it's a Gaussian splat. So you could probably be able to in the near future be able to load up, have like someone walk through, do a scan of a house, and then just post it on Enviz like in an hour or something. And you can have a whole stack of these. And this could be the future of how people walk through and view homes before they buy them or how they host homes for sale. I think that's like so cool because that's actually doing something better than what we're currently doing by using technology, which is like always the anchor for anything cool tech wise. So that's great. I think that'd be amazing.
No, 100%. Well, what you just described there is actually is like that when you are in that, let's just focus in on the buying an apartment or buying a new home um, mindset. Yeah, that is very time consuming to travel around and go around to just inspect these places in that open home kind of vibe, which we all know is the best way to inspect a home. But it's very time consuming, and a lot of the times you just want to be able to tick off the ones that you know aren't even like suitable to you, but you need to go experience it first. So by doing this virtually and by able to do them at scale from the comfort of your own couch, like that's huge. So yeah, that's literally what we're doing right now. I will say that we are more focused on the unbuilt property, so we work on any sort of unbuilt. But what you just described is 100% what we're doing. We've also imported all Polycan scans, Matterport scans, so we can do real property now, any 3D model. So that's as long as it's a scan as well. But we're just finding that probably the scanning technology is just not quite there in terms
Yeah.
of the quality of what people want. But it's honestly like 6 months away, 12 months away. Like
Yeah.
the testing we're doing now with like image to 3D model from like AI, it's just ridiculous. So like you can take a photo of your couch and then 2 seconds is the 3D model. So we know that
Yep.
has jumped around the corner and that's going to be huge.
Oh, yes.
And we'll be able to do real places as well.
Yeah, I play around with a lot of those tools. It's getting really impressive. Some of the stuff that you could punch out with like image to 3D model, and then like the ability to kind of like post process those things too, like via those same software suites is like pretty impressive. But yeah, the I was thinking back on the walking through houses, like how many times just being able to tick off the ones you know don't work spatially for you, which is like a big reason people go to look at houses. Does the space work? And how many times have you gone and looked at a house and the person used a fisheye lens, and you walk in, you're like, this is not as big as I thought it was going to be. So like I think that's just such an awesome way to just make sure the space works for you before you buy. Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And like that's actually our core um kind of underlying mission is that we really believe that people need to and deserve to have certainty in that space. And a lot of times there is a lot of marketing content that's put out there that makes it a little bit deceptive, for lack of a better word, or feel bigger than it really is. But we really believe if we give them a realistic model of the actual space to allow them to get certainty in that space, to be able to make informed decisions. So we believe our platform is made for decision making, and that's why we've created this. Credit.
I think that's the perfect segue to asking you this next question. So
Mhm.
the power of your app is the certainty of the decisions that one is making in the building process. And the way that that directly translates to projects is change orders. So I know that you guys have clients that work with builders and they can go through these spaces and feel them out. They can understand what it really feels like to be in it. And I come from a construction background myself. So and I've worked with a lot of clients myself, and I understand what the change order life is like. It's rough for the builders. It costs a lot of time, sometimes too much, and it could really back projects up. And it can cost on the client side, the clients a lot more money on their project because they're having to change things in hindsight. So having that ability to walk through and be like, "This is what I want," to eliminate that, what every builder has always heard during a project or at the end of a project is, this is not what I thought it was going to look like. You know, it's like, it's so good for helping curtail that negative part of building a building for somebody.
Definitely, definitely. And we've got pretty much all our clients saying that they have done way less changes on the once construction started because they've already gone through the space, they've walked through the space, they understand it, they've already made those decisions in the design stage rather than only after they've been able to see it once the walls and the walls and cladding and everything up, and now they realize, oh shivers, that's not what I want. There was actually this really interesting study from a big um, material supplier called James Hardy in Australia, and they did a study on people's satisfaction on their homes after they were completed, and it was staggering. It was like 50% of them actually were unhappy with how their home looks after it was finished. And so we really see that as a core problem, and we think we know we're solving now. Yeah.
That's a really high number,
Yeah.
given that these people picked out their plans. It's for new builders, and it's understandable if it's your first time building or something. But I'm sure a decent amount of those people have built before or have had multiple homes or something. So it's interesting how high that is. But I guess that's what puts you guys in business. That's good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The I, we haven't gotten to like doing we're gonna do a demo, which I'm pretty stoked to show everybody. But when we get into that, I don't know if it's part of the demo or not, but I know you guys have a dollhouse view and a slice away view. If you want to like brief people on those two capabilities of the software.
Yeah, cool. Well, do you just want me to show you? Is that easy?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's jump right in. You want to jump into the demo?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I can quickly show you the demo. So let me share screen. Okay, cool. Okay. So to show you a bit of the Enviz demo, what you're seeing right now is a screen sharing of my iPad. Um, and Enviz is an app that works on any Android or iOS device. So phone, tablet, uh, we've got the Apple Vision Pro here as well, and the Meta Quest, and also works on web. But so it's just an app that you download, and what you're seeing here is now the dashboard that I have logged into my account. And so I obviously have access to a lot of our experiences of some of our clients around the world. But when a user logs in, they would only see their spaces that they've got on their account. So if you're a builder, you would only see your builder, your designs, or if you're an architect, same. Um, so what I'll kind of show you is a bit of our experience. So this is an example of an apartment that is using our technology on the Gold Coast to sell off the plan. And so this is our listing page where the agents and developers can host all their renders of the apartment, as you can see here, and a bit of information, floor plans and brochures, but that's all standard stuff. So what is Enviz's point of difference is obviously our virtual experiences. So by simply clicking on here, as you requested before, this is our dollhouse experience. So as you can see, I've got it on my tablet, but you're seeing what I'm seeing now, and you can just look around the apartment as like it's a floor plan on steroids. It's like actually like it's real. The full apartment is built like a little model on your iPad. You can navigate by just spinning with one finger or actually zooming down and getting right down into the apartment like you see here and getting really close and zooming wherever you want. Getting this to work on a device and at this high level and lifelike quality is the biggest technical feat that we've been able to do. And I know we're the best in market in this. But do you have any questions?
I was gonna say, yeah, like just like we were saying before, the level of detail when you zoom in is wild. It's so crisp. It's so the materials look so good. And there's really no like deformations of things as you move around. They are like as if you were moving directly around the object itself. It's very impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, thanks, mate. So we agree. So, and that's why developers and agents around the world are using this to sell these really high-end property. This development actually sold completely off the plan just using our technology. They didn't even have a display suite. They just used our technology and used it in a cafe just around the corner and sold from an iPad. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the cool. That's a really cool thing about what you guys have is that it's like tech agnostic. So like anything that you're comfortable using already, they offer that. So if you want to use an Apple Vision Pro, if that's your thing, do it. If you want to use an iPad or you want to use a phone, whatever, whatever you're comfortable with, you could still have this like super rich experience checking out the architecture of the space.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, it's we let the agent or the builder or whoever our client is for their use case just use the tech that they're comfortable with, like you mentioned. So you asked specifically about the slicer mode. So this is Dollhouse. The slicer mode, I suppose, doesn't have as much effect on this one because we've already removed the roof, but you can see the top right corner here, I can actually slice down. And so if it was a double story home or apartment with a ceiling still on, you would use this slicer to be able to navigate and see multiple levels by just simply dialing that.
Super useful.
Exactly. So you also, I think you were very interested in seeing our more augmented reality features. So while we're in
Oh, I am.
yeah, I'll show you one of those features. So the bottom left there is table view. And so I click a button and then I scan the space, and then now I can just simply tap, and then I can now have that same model appear on my desk in front of me. So
That is So powerful. If you're a realtor watching this, like, yeah, this is so useful, man. Like, you could sell a project at a like just like you were saying, at a coffee shop and have this on the table. No one else is doing this. I promise you, none of your competitors have have this tool in their pocket, and it's just I think so impressive to a buyer if you pulled this out and they weren't expecting it. It's so cool.
Yeah,
L-
yeah, I agree, and that's what our clients that are using it are experiencing firsthand. So yeah, thanks for the positive feedback as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's excellent.
yeah, so yeah, so that's the kind of dollhouse features that you're seeing there. Um, we then if I then more go down inside the space, so you just by clicking anywhere on the model, double tapping, you can now go inside the space and move around in like first person. So
I love that action that you guys built in there. It's that smooth push in. It's not just like this jump. I think if you use like Meta, like like some of their apps, like if you're gonna experience and you like click into a spot, it like phases you into it and it's really abrupt. I love that that little note of just kind of easing into the space.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we think it's that user experience is very important. So by simply just double tapping anywhere in the space, you can then go to that space and that navigation. You just
Yeah,
finish it.
super nice.
Thanks. Yeah. So then now once you're in the space, then this is what people are probably more accustomed to in terms of there's a lot of providers out there like Matterport that have the point-to-point tours where you can move around and then just kind of you're positioned in one space and you can just navigate around like I'm showing you right now. The difference with ours is that because we've got the whole model, you can now freely move anywhere. So I can tap and move anywhere around the apartment to understand exactly what every space feels like and looks like. Um, but what that unlocks, again, for because we're on an XR podcast, is using augmented reality. You can actually click this walkable button and again scan your room around you. And then now the tablet acts as like a window into the virtual world. So it's tracking my movement in one-to-one scale. And it's like now I'm in the open home experience. So I can, I don't know if you ever see me, but I can get up and then move around and walk through this kitchen in one-to-one and actually get down close and see um, the appliances, see what the view looked like when I was actually washing my hands and move around like that. Because I'm
Yeah, what's nice. Sorry, go ahead.
you go.
I would say what's nice about that is that's about as close as you're gonna get to a immersive spatial experience is if you were to be wearing the Apple Vision Pro. I think that gets you close if you got like a pretty decent sized screen, because you feel like you're in the space. You're not like kind of just jumping around from port to port. I think, and that's just like just the ability to get down and close to things and it not like, I don't know, like clipping. You guys, your clipping is like really good. So clipping, if you're watching this, you know what this is. It's like sometimes you get close to like a 3D object, it will like disappear and you can like see through it. So like this is like it's really good that you guys can get close to things without like the model doing something really weird. So you guys have done excellent at that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so where that feature actually becomes really powerful. If I let me try and also share something else with you. I can also show where that walkable feature is then used a lot on site as well. So if this is going through, this is used in the construction process. So you can then now halfway through construction lock this to your actual structure and walk around the space and see what the finishes and going to look like once it's actually complete. And this is super powerful for anyone that's building that home and doesn't understand how to read a spec sheet.
You guys have left no stone unturned with this software. That's so useful, man. That is such an awesome feature, particularly in the commercial space too, because like sometimes, like the design is happening as they're building. Like it's much different in the commercial space than the residential space. Especially for like material ordering. So like if they're like, yeah, this is the design we want to go with this, it's gonna work. You know, nothing in the construction plan has changed. This is what we're gonna do. So you can go in and kind of like lock those things in like mid project. And then material ordering is obviously a big thing. So like lead times and such. So this gives such a awesome power to the designers and builders.
100%. But also is all like even just getting your contractors aligned on what they're expected to build and deliver on, because like even the contractors, even the professionals in the space struggle to understand floor plans and everything like that. So yeah, we're seeing it not only be powerful in the design stage, it's in the construction stage, and then also in the selling stage. But the final thing I'll show in terms of augmented reality, I can't show it into the office because we don't have a site, but this is how our technology is also used when you're on a site and you want to place the home on a vacant block of land to see what it looks like. We call this site view. And so it removes all the sphere around it and just uses the camera feed to give you an understanding of, again, what your space will look like on your site externally. But then when you're in the site as well, you can see out the windows as well to do what the view will look like.
So cool. So useful in so many different ways. Like I just for like developers and like development builders, it's so awesome because sometimes their lots are still vacant. They don't necessarily always build out the entire plots of land that they have. They'll build them off of plans. Like you can look at different models of homes that you might want to build in that development. So having this capacity to be able to just go out with someone who's interested in a plot and say, here's the models, you can go through all 5 or whatever models that we have and look at it at scale on the actual plot that you're looking at buying. That is wild. Like that is so cool that we can do that now. That is amazing.
Exactly. The tech's there. Anyone can use it right now.
Yeah. So hey, developers, check it out. Enviz, yeah. Oh, that's a great question. Actually, if someone's watching this and they want to work with you guys or use your product, where's the best place to send them? Is it like through your website, a certain portal?
Yeah, just head to enviz.co, and yeah, either reach out to us and we can talk to our sales team, or you can simply just try it for free. We have a free trial where you can just create an account and simply drag and drop a 3D model, and within an hour or two you'll have it, and you get 14 days free to try it and try everything you're seeing now. And so then get
Oh,
creative.
lovely. There you have it. Easy. It's easy. Awesome. A 14-day trial to just go out and use something like this is pretty nice of you, I think. It's
Exactly.
pretty awesome. I think I have one final question.
So the one last thing, before you ask that question, I'll just quickly to finish off the demo. What I'm showing now is, just because I won't do it live, but what you're seeing now is the Apple Vision Pro. And so this is again through showing the pass through, and that same apartment that I showed you before is now going to be appearing on your screen in a second in that dollhouse view, but in pass through. So you can have it in your space where you can do all the functionality that I mentioned before. But now this is something you need to experience to fully understand the power of it. But it's like it's floating in front of you, like, and it looks 100% real. And you can navigate, see the floor plan, and what you're seeing in front of you. And it's super powerful, super powerful. But then, as we all know, the most powerful thing about VR is then actually being one-to-one inside a space. And so we allow that by you just simply pressing go inside. And then now I'm literally in that apartment on the Gold Coast from my office in Sydney, and I can navigate and move around. And it looks like lifelike. It's real because of the Apple Vision Pro. The quality of the headset is just next level.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting an AVP. I'm pretty stoked that they've announced they're going to put out a second version of that. So hopefully it's not $3,500 on this go around. But that's such a cool feature. I'd love to at some point try that out and see some of these models in pass through. I think there was also.
When we
Oh,
come
sorry.
to Cleveland, we'll let you have a go.
I'd be very excited to do that. We should. That'd be cool. We'll film a subsequent little piece of content. We could post that from that experience I have with you guys. You had also had an AI function on the the topics of AI and XR. I think.
Definitely. Let me show you that. The one last thing I'll quickly just show while I've got the tablet sharing, because then I'll go to the AI feature, which is on the web. So I just wanted to show what we just showed you there was like our lifelike quality where it's used for selling, and that's for any CGI studio creates those spaces. But when you're just more of an architect that's wanting to upload their simple SketchUp file or Revit file. This is the same exact experience, but this is what we can show as that like drag and drop kind of functionality, where any architect can simply create one of these designs and it creates a space like this. It's still the exact same functionality, but as you can understand, the quality level is just that one step down because that designer has not gone to that level of detail.
Sure, it's more about feeling the space.
Exactly.
Yeah, a quick preview. Actually, I saw something cool on there I thought would be so awesome for, like, general contractors. It looked like it was, like, the plans, like, the 2D architectural plans. I think it was a step back in the dashboard.
Okay.
Or
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you could maybe look at the plans at scale, but as a blueprint. Is it right there in the middle? Yeah, if you could it'd be cool to be able to just throw that on a site and just walk around and talk about things. Cause like, you're like 3 dudes huddled in a trailer over these, like, one set of plans. It'd be cool if you can all just kinda, like, have some space and just walk around and look at things like this. That's so cool.
100%. So yeah, any floor plan can be easily uploaded to our platform and you can walk around in one-to-one scale. All those functionality that I showed to you work on a floor plan. So that's the most easy barrier to, first step to get on the Enviz platform, just upload your floor plans and walk around them in one-to-one scale on any device.
That's so neat, man. It's great that's something people could use. I gotta show my dad that, he's gonna love it.
Okay, so what I'm about to show you here is the first version of our Enviz AI, which will be launched in probably a month's time. So this is just early access for internal use at the moment. But what I'll show you is how we envision AI to be used actually on our platform. And back to what we originally said is that our belief is that our platform is the place where you make property decisions. And so a lot of the times that's that end user, the person that's not necessarily the architect or the builder. And a lot of them don't ever have the ability to be able to easily make quick changes or ask requests or see what something looks like in a different color or move things around. That requires the design professional to do that. And so we believe with AI, we can allow anyone to be able to have that power and understand and be able to easily better change and edit a space to get a better understanding, to make better decisions. So what you'll see here is our first version of that.
Hi there. How can I assist you with your room design today?
Yeah, hi. Can you please give me a version of this room where you change the round coffee table to a glass square coffee table?
Sure, I'll change the round coffee table to a glass square coffee table.
Also, could you please give me a version of this room in modern Hampton style?
I'll update the room to the modern Hampton style for you.
Can you also give me a version of this kitchen where you change the white marbled to black marble?
I'll modify the kitchen by changing the white marble to black marble.
In this room, can you please change this painting to a large TV screen with the NVIDIA logo on it?
I'll replace the painting with a large TV screen displaying the NVIDIA logo.
So um, that's it for the request. So what you're seeing now is that the AI then it goes away and then does all my requests over here, and then I can then see the changes. So this was the original request from where we were in the room, and then this is what it's changed into a Hamptons style. You can see we've still got a bit of work to do with the views, but like the Hampton style of this like living room area here is really impressive and lifelike. So that allows that user to be able to easily change and make many changes. You could ask it for contemporary, and you can keep with that chat asking here and keep changing and asking for more requests as you go from there.
That's remarkable. That's so amazing. So, a question. I mean, one on the functionality side of this for people using this, like designers. Like, This is, again, just such a powerful tool in and of itself to be able to walk through a space and just play with ideas and find something that works. And the NVIDIA TV, that was so awesome. It's good. It's good at understanding the space. It's placing things really, really well.
We're still refining this model and training it, but this is just the start. And so once we've got this live in market and we get a whole bunch more training done, then we're confident this is going to be amazing tool for anyone. So this is obviously asked for at a glass square coffee table, and then that's
It's so good. It changes the shadows and everything. It's so embedded. It looks so good. You guys killed it. This is amazing.
yeah, it even does the reflection of that
Yeah.
post here and the lighting. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
What a world, Michael, huh? So cool that this is a capability that we have now. And back what I was kind of saying before is like for designers, like to be able to take this and walk through a model and just make edits and have the do it on the fly for you and like have the visuals done. And you could just take this and like you could do this with clients, just fire them right to them on the spot instead of like I gotta get back to you in like a week. It's right there. It's done. It's like, what do you think about this? It's just for like rough concepts and ideas, so you could pick out materials much quicker, and you don't again see a lot of change orders because you saw what it looks like in the space and the colors and how they work together, and the lighting, etc. So this is just like, man, this is such a powerful tool for builders and designers. So cool. I love the feature.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's very early days, but we think this is just a start, and we know that this is going to be a very powerful and valuable tool to a lot of people, either through the design stage or when you're buying. And so we're really excited just to get people using it and see where it goes. Because what I just showed you there was a lot of functional, kind of practical ways, but it's also really fun as well and can be used in a real creative way. So we've had times where we've gone in and asked it to make the kitchen look like a messy like I had a messy cooking session with my kids, and we just cooked spaghetti, and I put spaghetti everywhere all over the kitchen and stuff. So like there's just fun things to do with it, as well as really practical, valuable things for the use case.
Yeah, let you see what it's like to live there with your family. That's a pretty cool feature, or a creative way to use that feature. Um, the would you like to? Is there anything else in that AI section that you wanted to show anybody, or is that the end of the AI?
No, I think that's probably a good glimpse. I probably don't need to overshare unless you have any specific questions on it.
No, I think that was great. I think we got a pretty good oversight of that feature of the software. Thanks again for sharing that. That was so cool. I think in the future it'd be really really nice to be able to, as designers, to be. And I know this is some time away maybe, but when you make those requests, it actually changes the model itself. And or maybe these models, when they go in, they have like invisible tags for like bedroom, like what you would see on plans, like bedroom, kitchen. And you could say like, hey, generate a new kitchen, or hey, generate a new bathroom. And you could just sit there and just iterate and generate and generate and generate that space until you find the ones that you like. And you could do it maybe individually per room, so it's not doing the entire space all at once. So you could just kind of like do it in parts. I think that'd be so neat as a design tool, just in and of itself. That'd be a cool feature. Maybe that's not something you guys do. I just pop the idea in my head.
No, definitely. No, that's 100% on the roadmap. So I can talk openly about where this goes. Or right now we are
Yes.
focused on making the best image gen, because that's something that we know the tech is ready, and that provides so much value, and images is something that everyone is accustomed to and familiar with and comfortable with. But where that then goes is that, first of all, it will be accessible on all our devices. Right now, it's only web in this first version, so we'll be able to do in VR on a tablet, on phone. But then once you're in VR and on a tablet, we also want it to be done more of the 360. So like when I ask for a request, it won't just be what I'm looking at; it will be what I could all see. So it will change it from all perspectives. So that's first step. Then, and then the next step, we will be starting to look into actually changing the original model as well, like you just mentioned. As I said before, what the progress that we're seeing now in image to 3D is staggering, to be honest. How quick that's progressing. So, yeah, we don't see any reason why in the future when I ask for that coffee table to be changed from a round coffee table to a square glass coffee table, it's not only the image, it's actually the 3D model is changed as well. That is still a little bit down the track because we've got to make it all work together, but that's definitely around the corner. And so in the future,
Cool.
you will have all your IKEAs and your different furniture manufacturers all having their reference images or models, and we'll be able to quickly you'll be able to ask and call from those companies even of their libraries and have it placed into your model and in your space to be better understanding and designing a space using AI.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it was like, sorry, it's almost like replacing the need to have these like asset libraries, which is such a wild thing to think about. That, like, it's not needed anymore. Maybe like a reference sheet of like, show me some different types of like design styles and like different chair like styles or whatever, different eras. You go like, okay, cool, I like this era and I like this style, and then like you can say like, now start generating me furniture. But because something you could pick like your styles. I think that it's just like not needing this library of like all of these different assets where you'd have to actually have the 3D models in there and have all these things you could like scroll through and pick from and just say what you want and it will give you options. Like, man, what an interesting time to be alive
Yeah,
as a designer.
100%. Yeah, no, you're right. It is interesting time for specifically all those asset libraries. Because like I said, the tech is not there yet. Like I've definitely been using it and scanning a whole bunch of, taking photos of a whole bunch of furniture items, and it's like 80-90% there. But like only another 6 months or 12 months away, and you'll be able to recreate any bit of furniture, and that's huge. So yeah.
Yeah, I think someone I just watched a video. Some guy was like, "Why would you 3D model anything if you could just take a picture of it that if it exists in the real world and turn it into a 3D model in like 10 seconds?" That's so cool.
Just to state the point again, that's why we're so excited about our platform is that we are not the people that create the 3D models. And so that has been actually one of the bit of a barrier for our platform to really hit scale is that we still, even though there is millions of these models out there, there's still that barrier that you still need to create the model. And that has required a really high intelligent designer that knows 3D software that and puts the effort into creating that. But that democratization of 3D creation is around the corner. You're going to be able to soon be able to scan a floor plan or take a photo of a floor plan, and then it produces a 3D model from that. You're going to be able to, as we just said, take a photo of a room, and then straight away a 3D model appears. So like that stuff is just around the corner, and that means that people are going to be able to create Enviz spaces just like that in the future.
I got an idea. Cool feature in the future, like a cool feature for the future app. If like you could do something where you could scan a set of plans or choose from, and you guys have a whole library of plans, and then they could pick that, and if they can go into the space in VR, and push the wall and move the space around and have the plans change accordingly to what they're doing. So then they can have like new set of actual blueprints that are responsive to the actual changes of like, I just wanted an extra 10 feet. Now it's there. But then even maybe in the future, like a price calculator, like, because you moved that thing 10 feet, you just added 30 grand to your project. So they can have like realistic expectations of like what they do and changes and like what it means in terms of dollars for them. That'd be cool as a feature, maybe.
Yeah. I like where your mind's at. Yeah, it's something that we look into in the future.
Kind of neat. So I guess in closing, I always like to ask a few questions. One is, are you guys hiring?
Yes, we are. We are. We're right now in the process of doing a big US trip and understanding that market. And me and my co-founder are going over there to meet with clients, but also doing a whole bunch of sales. And so once we understand that process a bit better, we will be then hiring a US sales team over there to really keep that momentum going. So that's something that we're looking to do in the near future.
Cool. And then the other question is, do you have a book or a website or an app or maybe a software or a person that you think everyone should follow that you think is really cool?
Oh, obviously other than Enviz.co, but yeah, definitely. I mean, because of the podcast that we're on and the XR kind of topic, one of the books that I read a few years ago now, but I think was just very helpful for me to understand and see the behind the scenes of how a big company in this space has went from initial idea to billion-dollar companies is a book called The History of the Future, from the author is Blake Harris. And what it does, it documents the behind the scenes of the creation of Oculus, and how they went from Palmer Luckey went from an initial kit idea to then their Kickstarter campaign, how they then grew the business, and then they eventually then sold to or Meta or Facebook at the time. So yeah, that's a really good story and a good book. Obviously, you've got to be interested in the space to find it valuable, but I think all your listeners will be. So yeah, that was a good book that I'd recommend.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that'd be a interesting book for anyone who's really interested in owning a company. I bet there's like tons of information on there, and or specifically startups, or a tech startup to be very specific. I'm sure it's just packed with like really useful information for someone that might be starting their own thing up, or might have questions about their current thing if as they're scaling and growing. And that I always love like technical books that have like really good useful information. So I'm gonna probably pick it up. I pick up everyone's book that they recommend. I have a stack here, and it's like I have so much reading to do, but it's been a really solid list of stuff. So I'll look for picking that up.
What's your recommendation?
Oh man, for you or for people in general?
Yeah, for me, I suppose. But
Oh man, I don't know. Let's see. What do I got here? You might like. I'm still working my way through this one,
mhm.
but on the like the business side, you might like Super Agency. It's probably backwards for you.
Okay.
By Reid Hoffman, it's the guy who started LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But he's a big tech guy. He's really into the XR space. This has got some really good like technical like business side knowledge. This one I haven't got into yet, so I shouldn't plug it. But I'll just show it to you anyways. This is the Metaverse by Matthew Ball. Some of the spatial guys that do all the radiance fields said this is a really good book on that. So that's probably a good start.
That's too great.
There's, yeah, that's in terms of on brand or on genre related books. I think those are pretty good ones.
Love it.
Yeah, yeah. So we're breaching our hour here. So I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. You gave us so much cool information. The demo was awesome. Thank you for sharing all of the features and things with us, and kind of being open to talking about a lot of what you guys got going on at Enviz. I had a lot of fun. I hope to book a second podcast in the future sometime, and see where you guys are at with some of your any new features with what you guys are building from now until then. And yeah.
Oh, awesome. No, thanks, Cody. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a good chat. Yeah, and obviously when we're over in the US, let's organize a time to catch up for maybe a beer or some dinner or something.
I am looking forward to that. That sounds excellent.